great Ben Hogan made a statement one time, I guess in 5 Fundamentals, but he said he had a major breakthrough in understanding the golf swing when he pictured a pane of glass that ran on the top of his shoulders, had his head kind of sticking out a hole, and it ran down to the ground where the ball was. And that if he could swing underneath the pane of glass, he could have a more accurate, more powerful golf swing. Kind of gave him a mental picture that enabled him to swing more consistently. So I had a similar breakthrough in instruction, trying to train students by coming up with a concept I call the pen and the rubber band. And years ago, when we started training with golf, we didn't have iPads and computers and motion analysis and launch monitors. We had television sets with video. And we didn't even have fancy programs that drew all these lines and everything. We used to use dry erase markers and things like that. So that was when I came up with the pen and the rubber band idea. And by drawing lines like this and looking at how the club swung around the body for good players, you could kind of see that it swung through the center of their torso, more through the center of their back. Most of the good players had more upright backswings, but they flattened the downswing. And today you have more one-plane swings probably than you did in the past. But Ben Hogan was a perfect one-planer, I think. He swung the club around his body very well. So I came up with this concept to kind of explain how the club can be thrown back and forth by rotating the torso. So I just clipped a rubber band underneath this clip, and then this right here, and we'll do a close-up. Okay, so when good players hit a good golf shot, you can see the torso here, the swing plane dissects right through the center. And this was kind of what the pen and the rubber band concept was all about. This would be your torso, this would be my head up here, the rubber band represents your arms and the club. So simply rotating the center, or the pin here, what happens is I'm slinging the rubber band around and around, and it's a very centrifugal motion, and it causes the rubber band to trace perfect line, just like you see here on the iPad. So it's very similar to what good players do, going back and forth and bringing that club on plane. When you're looking at this pen and rubber band, I also want you to think about a merry-go-round. So a merry-go-round, the horses on the inside move slow, the horses on the outside move a little faster, and then the horses on the far outside, they go even faster. And the drive shaft, however, is propelling those horses around, is going very slow. So if you looked at the drive shaft, it doesn't have to move very fast in order to propel the outside horses fast enough on the merry-go-round. And the same thing's true here. Now, the interesting thing about the merry-go-round is you can tell that everything's going around the same RPMs. In the golf swing, it doesn't look like our arms and hands and the club and the torso go around in the same RPMs, but in great golf swings, they should. When you looked at Hogan's swing, he turned back and forth with his torso, and he had this great sequence in his golf swing that allowed him to hit really great golf shots. So picture the merry-go-round and picture the pen and the rubber band, and let your arms and hands swing loose and relaxed around your body, and have your body do the propelling, okay? Have your body rotate back and through, just like this pen and rubber band. I think if you do this, you'll see longer, straighter shots. I also wanted to talk a minute about Payne Stewart. You know, if you looked at Payne's swing in years past, he had this loose, free, almost handsy, armsy looking golf swing. And by looking at it, you'd think he'd be kind of a wild ball striker. But Payne was known for being very accurate, very straight ball striker. And it's because he had this loose feeling of just propelling the club back and forth with his torso, and he had a very accurate rotation. Obviously, if you rotate really well, you can hit really, really accurate golf shots. So keep that in mind when you're working on this, that you can be loose and relaxed and still hit very, very accurate straight golf shots. And also the relaxation gives you more club head speed. So be the pen and the rubber band and go out there and let yourself let it fly and watch how much further and straighter your shots go. Thanks, and come back and see me again.